Now, I know y'all been watching this Shannon Sharpe situation. We all have been checking it out. You know, he is being sued by the young female, the 19-year-old. And I talked about that in itself, in my opinion, about that, more so on my African Diaspora News channel, because I wanted to kind of give some little insights into that. And if you kind of want to hear at least that portion of, you know, what I talked about, you can go over there and check that out. But Shannon Sharpe got another issue going, okay? And Shannon Sharpe is being another one that come out. You remember the video where he was messing with a woman named Michelle? We didn't know who Michelle was. Well, we now know who Michelle is, ladies and gentlemen. And we will show who Michelle is here in a second. But let me tell y'all something, man. You know, when I made my stream the other day about Shannon Sharpe, and I had a couple of comments that came through, right? And of course, you know, it's going to be some rebellious brothers, because these brothers think that they can do whatever they want to do living here in America. They can fool with Becky and them anytime they get good and ready. And we have seen time and time again, there's a consequence for that, especially if you are a brother that got some money. The way this society look at anything consensual with you and Becky, brother, in their eyes, they view it as SA, okay? Anytime she gets pissed off with you, everything, she the one could initiate it. She could have sent the pictures. It was her idea to do this and that and the third. The moment she come up here and say, oh, well, I didn't feel comfortable, automatically you guilty, bro. And I've said this, ain't no woman, I'm using the word ain't no woman worth your freedom, messing up your reputation, messing up your money. None of them worth that. I don't get that. And this is why so many of us have told you guys about developing D-discipline. Because if you had some D-discipline, you would say, bruh, I can get what I'm looking for from that female from others and don't even have the headache and the problems that particular female bring. You understand? And this is not on no, you know, I know y'all laugh about Dr. Umar, but I said that I do agree with Dr. Umar, at least on that, because of the history of what happens to black men in this country. And I said this earlier this week. Some of y'all gonna be talking about, well, the women do this and that and the third, and the women find out the hard way too. We've covered it right here on this channel, how they found out the hard way, how some of them were beaten, how some of them, their life was taken, and nothing happened to them dudes. Or if they have babies with them, they the one paying the child support to Brad and them, right? Look at Halle Berry, how all that money she paying to these white men. So they learn the hard way too. But right now, the spotlight is, you know, what's happening with Shannon Sharpe's situation, right? So let's go ahead on and get into this situation here. Let's go ahead and put this up on the screen right quick. So as you can see here, Michelle Evans accuses Shannon Sharpe of rape and retaliation. Say he forced me to my knees. Now look at that. Say former NFL superstar and sports media personality Shannon Sharpe is at the center of a growing firestorm. The second woman to come forward with explosive allegations of SA, and said just days after news broke of a lawsuit filed by OnlyFans model. Let me tell y'all something. Let me hold on. Let me get back on the screen for real quick. I'm a cook about that term. I said it this week and I'm going to say it again. Stop saying OnlyFans model. You're not a model. A model is walking down a runway fully clothed for a fashion brand. That is a model, okay? If you're on OnlyFans, taking off your clothes and doing all that, you are engaging in prostitution. Bottom line. That's what it is. You're an OnlyFans prostitute. Stop prettying. See, one thing I can't stand about America, you want to pretty up filth. You're getting on the internet, taking off your clothes and doing whatever God knows what you're doing on that page over there. And you're doing it in exchange for people to pay money for a subscription for it and or whatever. Some of them are prostituting themselves and meeting up with men and stuff like that. They're not a model. Don't sit up here and try to put them in the same category as a fashion model. No, that's not even right to the real models out there who are actually keeping their clothes on, who's modeling trends and fashion and things like that. Real models have their clothes on. Prostitutes on the internet or on the blade, they're taking their clothes off for money, okay? It's just that simple from men. So let's stop with this model crap. I can't stand that term, OnlyFans model. Let's get back into it. She made the claims that she made, and we know about that, ladies and gentlemen. It said that she, the evidence says she was in a decades-long relationship with Shannon Sharpe, accused him of the assault. It took place in 2010. Now, this is 15 years ago, ladies and gentlemen. According to documents, evidence claims Sharpe became violent after an argument about his infidelity and proceeded to assault her in a terrifying and degrading manner. And so I got to be careful what I say on these things here. To say the shocking details, combined allegations of threats, intimidation, defamation have sparked widespread concern about Sharpe's behavior behind the scenes. So she was basically saying here she had an argument with him and he forced her to get on her knees and do some jawboning and all of that, and then threw her on the bed and did something with her. But check this out. She was just recent. I got to be careful on some of this stuff, y'all. That's why I'm just trying to paraphrase. But she dealt with this man for over 10 years, right? 10 years. So if he did all this in 2010, why are you still dealing with this man after that? That's a question even people had about the first situation. They have said that female, the 19-year-old, was messing with him for over 100 times, even after the incident that she claimed that he, did something to her, right? No criminal charges, no SA kits, no anything, right? I don't care what y'all say. If you are a rich man or you a powerful man or whatever, you have to be a fool and a half, especially as a black man, to be fooling with Becky and them. You just have to be. I mean, I'm sorry, you have to be at this point. You have to be, because look at what happens time and time again. I've covered this mess. Now, some of y'all this week said, well, Phil, you forgot about Mike Tyson and that case and how he went to jail. Okay. Yes, I do remember that case with Mike Tyson. Sure did. And Mike Tyson did go to jail for that. Yes, he did. Okay. How many cases has that really happened to black men like that, though? Let's think about that versus how many cases happen to brothers with Becky and them. Y'all look for one outlier or maybe some other. Well, what about Tupac and that situation, right? Remember you talking about Tupac? Okay, Tupac, same realm. Well, let me say what I said this week. If Tupac had a wife and Tupac was going home with his wife and he do his music, he went home to his family, Tupac wouldn't have been in that situation. I keep saying that. You get to a certain level financially that you got to settle down, bruh. It's dangerous out here for you to be single because the wolves are circling around you at that point. And the wolves are the women. And yes, any woman can get at you. I'm not saying that if she's black, she can't get at you or Asian or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is just settle down. That's the only thing I'm saying. It gets to a point. I mean, Shannon's 56 years old, bruh. Like, I want to get married and this and that and the third. Like, bro, it's like, okay, even if you didn't get married, you still settle your behind down. Have you somebody, I don't know, and just chill your nerves. And like I said this week, when it comes to somebody like Shannon, long as all his businesses and homes and everything is purchased before the marriage, he can get a prenup. And then if she decides to leave for whatever the reason, all things she can get is a prenup because she can't get the businesses. She can't get the house or the houses that he bought. You can't get his cars, can't get anything. Because as long as you purchase before the marriage, she can't do nothing when she leave you, right? She can't. All his investments, everything that he have, as long as you make sure it's in a corporation underneath his name, not personal, but a corporation, then she can't take nothing from him. And if you don't have no kids, okay, well, he get a little snip action going on, so he can't get pregnant and tell her, hey, I'm not having no kids. I'm 56 doggone years old. I'm done with that. So you want to get with me, that's just really what it is. And that's that. That's because, child support will get you for more than anything else, right? But then we have the conversation. Now, this woman is 19 years old. She's not 19. But it still go on the fact that Shannon just has a thing about Becky and them. And Becky and them is gonna take it to, boy, I'm telling you, it just I don't get it. I don't get it. And then the crazy part is guys like Shannon, he flies private jets. He got access to women all over the world. You hear me? Women all over the world. He don't have to be dealing with these little OnlyFans prostitutes. To me, it's like you putting yourself in the same realm as some guy that don't have your access. Like, seriously? And then Shannon was so silly that he didn't even get in. Like, maybe he wanted I don't know if he liked those S workers or whatever. I don't know. You got to be careful with that, because then you're going to be in a situation like Diddy. You start transporting them across state lines, and they're going to hit you on the Mann Act. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's just too much. Just get you a wife, bro, and just chill your nerves, man. Like I'm telling y'all, it's they take down brothers all the time, either doing with some sort of criminal charges, with some drugs or something to that effect, or something to do with a woman. But go your behind home to your wife, do what you want to do with your wife at your house, and Shannon wouldn't be in this problem. Shannon was about to get $100 million deal, and I don't know if that's getting messed off or not now. Shannon right now, he's doing his platform. He's doing a nightcap. He's moving on like everything is all good, and he should. He should. I just hope he learned his lesson, because let me tell you about this. One thing I've learned with life, when people warn me about something, when I hear somebody warn me of something, right? And then another person come warn me, and these people don't even know each other. Then I hear another person warn me about the same thing, and they don't even know each other. But you literally saying the same thing verbatim to me. I say, okay, God's speaking through them people to me, because that's 3 different people or 2 different people that told me the exact same thing. And they don't know each other, not in the room with each other, nothing. And yet you repeated the exact same thing. No, that's God talking to me, and I'm going to listen. Cat Williams warned Shannon about that, right? In the interview, he warned him. Monique warned him. There's times that Ocho has warned him. So many people have warned Shannon about his behavior, but he chose not to. And one thing I just can't get for the life of me, man, as a man, why would you let a woman who didn't earn crap, she didn't earn crap, take away everything that you work for? And then the worst part is she 19. That's even worse about it. The other one is bad too. Don't get me wrong. But you let these women who didn't do anything at all, can potentially take everything that you work for. I don't get it. As a man, I just don't get it. Like, why do y'all want to risk everything you work for, like I said, for 8 seconds? Because the average orgasm lasts about 8 seconds for men. 8 seconds. You're going to risk everything, millions, for 8 seconds. That just don't make sense, man. It don't make sense. Especially with a man like Shannon that can get just about any woman he think he at least can get. I'm not saying he can't get any woman, but you know what I'm saying? But Shannon has a self-esteem problem. I'm gonna be real with you. A lot of black men have a low self-esteem problem. Even when they get money, they have low self-esteem problems. Because if Shannon actually had a high self-esteem about himself, he wouldn't even engage with somebody on some doggone OnlyFans. Are you crazy? He wouldn't do it. Because when you think highly of yourself, you're not going to engage in certain behavior. But he has a low self-esteem. And a lot of brothers have low self-esteem. That's why you do the things you do and mess with who you mess with and even defend what he's defending. Right? Because you have the same low self-esteem he has. And think about it. Because your self-esteem so low, you don't even get the best of Becky and them. You don't even get the best of them. You get the average ones. If you're lucky, you get the average ones. So let's see what happens with Shannon. Like I say, my main thing is I know how hard it is for brothers to make it in America. You know what I'm saying? And to watch a black man, everything that he's worked for and him losing things behind. But you got to learn, I know they get mad at Dr. Umar, but Dr. Umar's right on this. I give him that. I always will give him